we're going to introduce a new game today. Izzy, I'm really excited about this one. It's called Hot Potato, right? Now, if you watch Impractical Jokers, if you watch Colin Jost and Michael Che on Saturday Night Live, both of those shows have an element where each host will write the joke or write the thing that the other host has to say. The other host doesn't know what's been pre-written for them, but when it comes up, they have to defend it. They cannot deny it. It's the ultimate yes and. It's the ultimate improv exercise. And so I love Impractical Jokers. I love Michael Che and Colin Jost. So this is right up my alley, Izzy. We're going to have 30 seconds to defend the take that we have to read that the other person wrote for us.
I don't know. I'm definitely more nervous about my having to defend your takes, but I'm ready to offer you one of mine right away.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's get it started. What's the first take?
Here's my card.
Wemby will never win a championship. Oh, this is easy. Put the timer up. Okay, so first of all, in the history of the NBA, it is incredibly difficult to win a championship. It's one of my most hated things is that people assume that if you're great, you got to win a championship. There's so many things that have to break right. Number one, you have to have the right teammates. So far, he hasn't had that. Number two, you have to have the right coach. Is Greg Popovich coming back? I don't know. Number three, you have to have organizational stability. San Antonio does have that. And number four, you have to have enough success so that the player says, you know what? I'll stick around here and not send my ass somewhere where they're going to mess it up even more. I doubt that's going to happen. He'll never win a championship.
Wow.
Yep.
That was fire right there. All great points. I feel like somebody slipped you that card early, but.
Izzy, I'm going to tell you right now, if that's what you're offering, man, get your oven.
Maybe I tossed you a softball early on.
I got a softball for you to start as well. Let's take a look.
Draymond Green was more important to the Warriors' titles than any other player. That's an easy one. Start the clock. All right, look, I understand Steph Curry is the offensive genius, right? But come on, you do not win an NBA championship without defense. Go back to they didn't win an NBA championship, but go back to Allen Iverson. What happened with him? They got a bunch of defensive players around him. That's how they got to the finals. Couldn't beat the Lakers, but whatever. Draymond Green, whenever Steph passed the ball, it was 4-on-3. He was the genius. He was the one that created that offense. I would even argue his screen setting got Steph open more often. I would argue his motivation of Kevin Durant probably kept them on point for those 2 years. Easily, Draymond Green, number one reason they won titles.
He created their offenses. That's ladies and gentlemen, I think we now understand the premise of the show. When I say yes and, Izzy just yes anded the hell out of that. He said he created the offense. All right, cool. All right, here we go. All right, now all right. The softballs are out of the way. Here we go. OKC is not built to win in the playoffs. Go ahead. Duh, of course. Number one, their second best player keeps getting hurt. This guy can't stay on the floor, Chet Holmgren. It's a hip now? You think hip injuries are easy to recover from? Ask Isaiah Thomas how that went. Yeah. All right. Number two, when you take him out, what are you going to do? You're going to win with one big, Isaiah Hartenstein? No offense to the other Jason Williams. J. Will, not J. Dub, but I just don't believe in him as a rotation big that can be on a championship team. Sure, he's a good player, but can he really help it? And then finally, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You can't shoot threes.
I think you could have stopped at no team has ever won a championship with two Jalen Williamses, and so that was a good one. Not bad.
The ball. All right.
Injured players, though. Bit of a crutch.
There we go.
Whew. All right. The Thompson twins will never progress beyond role players because they can't hit the broadside of a barn. Wow.
Is he?
I said that out loud, didn't I?
I thought you loved them. What happened?
Start the clock. All right, here's the problem with the Thompson twins, right? Amin is more of a ball handler, right? He's more of a point guard. You put him in that position for a team, there's going to be a lot easier ways to defend them. You're not going to be able to use your athleticism all the time. Asar Thompson is plug and play, ready to do, all kinds of things, but is never going to be a superstar. Doesn't really have the post game, doesn't really have the handles. His three-point shooting is a little bit better, but I just feel like they're very strong role players on quality teams.
I just watched Izzy die. A slow, agonizing death.
Troy Thompson, the father of the Thompson twins. Make sure you know that this is arguing something we don't believe in.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? All right. Trey Murphy III and Zion Williamson will be the next Kobe and Shaq. Okay. All right. Bear with me here. injuries really suck. Both of those guys have had a lot of injuries to start their careers, but when they play, they're incredible. That is undeniable. Zion Williamson has put numbers up that literally nobody in the history of the NBA has ever put up before. So all they got to do is just get a little bit healthy. Maybe, Zion lay off the kind of like the fatty foods and stuff. Hey, Trey Murphy, stretch a little bit more. But once they get it together, they're both healthy, man, championships abundant.
Wow, didn't even need the entire clock. And all you need for Trey Murphy to turn into Kobe Bryant is some stretching.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like I did. I just stretched it.
My heart. Pat Riley needs to retire, even if Mickey Harrison and the Heat have to shove him toward it. I mean, is this not the easiest question of them all? It's not that he failed Jimmy Butler. He failed himself. Let's be honest here. You don't think Pat Riley was dying a little bit when Kevin Durant didn't come here? You don't think that Pat Riley has replaced all dartboard stuff with LeBron's face and put Joe Cronin's face on there? Joe Cronin as an adversary? If you want an actual detail as to why Pat Riley is washed, that's why. Joe Cronin was laughing at him for at least 6 months. I do not need to work out today. I've done all my cardio.
I got Izzy burning every bridge he's ever had in the NBA. All right, what do we got next? Shaq was clearly that's a dirty one. Shaq was clearly the 2005 MVP. LeBron was clearly the 2006 MVP. So Steve Nash is clearly the most overrated player of all time.
Look it up.
Oh, God. Look, hey, man. Steve, what can we say about Shaq? Wasn't the greatest defensive player in the world, but he was adequate defensively, and he was dominant offensively. LeBron James, again, at that time, was not the greatest defensive player in the world, but he had some defensive adequacies, and of course, he was phenomenal offensively, although not quite to the peak where we would see him in a few years. Steve was not dominant defensively, was not good defensively. We had to cover for him the whole time. We had to make subsidies for him, and so the offense... I wish I could do that again.
Not terrible, but I think that might have been LeBron's highest scoring season ever. I think he averaged like 31.6 or something like that. So,
all right.
Oh, my Lord.
There you go.
Scoot Henderson will ultimately have a better career than Victor Wembanyama. Look, I am one of those people who's okay making mistakes, right? And early on, didn't think Scoot would be much of anything. Now you watch him, those straight line drives to the basket, the reason those were all his highlights coming in is because he can do that against anybody. And yes, maybe his whole thing was, I liked the food last year, my rookie year, but damn it, he was eating. And when he gets that three-point shot going, there will be nothing that can stop him. This is a game built for guards. I don't care how big you are. Get him any big to team with. He will absolutely win more championships, have a better career than Wemby.
All right, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, what do we got next? All the Warriors need to win another ring is Jordan Poole. I said on a pre-production meeting the other day that Jordan Poole offends me the way he plays basketball. But it's true. All the Warriors need is Jordan Poole. Look at all the problems they've had since they let go of Jordan Poole. They haven't been able to be consistent offensively. They are overly reliant on Steph Curry, even though they're trying to reduce their reliance on him, and it hasn't worked out. This team is a 500 team. You know what the last time they won a championship was? When Jordan Poole was on the Warriors. Hey, and by the way, Draymond Green, he apologized. He tweeted to Mark Spears, hey, I really am sorry. What more do you want? Bring him back, Warriors.
But then he added...
I'm nauseous.
But for real, get over it, is what he added afterward. Yeah, that was really tricky what you did there. You talked about the Warriors, not so much Jordan Poole. It's like you've done this before. All right, what do we got? Not only is Kobe Bryant not the best Laker ever, he's not even top 5. This one is super easy. He is a volume shooter. He is a man of his own, created his own narrative. He was never as dominant as Shaq. He was never as dominant as Magic Johnson. He was never as dominant as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going to have to think of a couple other Lakers that were top 5. Elgin Baylor is probably a top 5 Laker, and Jerry West. They all did more for their respective Laker teams than Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant just clearly got on the cape of Shaquille O'Neal, needed Pau Gasol. Do you know how underrated Pau Gasol was as a defense? Both sides of the ball. Unbelievable. Kobe, waste.
That's really good, man.
You know how much I cried when he passed away?
And I had to do radio. and announce it to the world. That's one of the worst jobs ever.
Great take, though.
All right, that's going to do it for Hot Potato. I have a feeling that this segment will be revisiting us in the very near future.